So firstly, let us understand what is the Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam. Now, before starting the CKA exam preparation, it is really essential to know about the exam itself first. The Certified Kubernetes Administrator, that is CKA exam, is the brainchild of the Cloud and Native Computing Foundation in collaboration with the Linux Foundation. Google joined hands with the Linux Foundation way back in July 2015 with the release of Kubernetes version 1.0, and the CNCF was born. Now, the primary objective of the CNCF is the development of sustainable ecosystems using Kubernetes. The CKA exam is a unique initiative by CNCF for expanding a community of organizations that works around a combination of high quality projects for container orchestration and microservices architecture. Now, the Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam preparation is ideal for testing your skills for the exam. The CKA certification exam aims at bringing standardization to the Kubernetes ecosystem, and the large-scale adoption of Kubernetes makes the exam a worthy investment. However, aspiring candidates should know that the exam will not be as easy as they expect. Rather than putting up multiple choice questions, the exam tests the knowledge of candidates on a very practical level. In addition, the exam follows a very strict curriculum, thereby implying the need for a comprehensive certified Kubernetes administrator training before appearing for the exam. The exam is an online, proctored performance-based test that really requires solving multiple tasks from a command line running Kubernetes. The Certified Kubernetes Administrator program provides assurance that CKAs have the skills, knowledge, and competency to perform the responsibilities of Kubernetes administrators. Now, the next question that really arises is why the CKA exam? Why not any other exam? Now, the first and the most important benefit of the CKA exam is that it gives you an unfair advantage over a non-certified professional, right? If you are CKA certified, then you definitely have a greater advantage over the people who are not certified. The next benefit is that it gives you better job prospects and higher salary. If you are CKA certified, you'll definitely have a better chance of increasing your salary at work. The next advantage is that since all companies have already or are trying to move toward K8s, that is Kubernetes, it is now or never to write this exam. There are also wide open jobs in the IT fields for CKAs, and it provides you with global recognition for your knowledge, skills, and experience. So I definitely think it is the right time to write this exam and also gain the certification. Let's move ahead and talk about the next important thing, that is the exam overview. Okay, so firstly, the exam is an online proctored based performance-based test that requires solving multiple tasks from a command line running Kubernetes. I've already discussed this before. The candidates have 2 hours to complete the tasks, but the total duration of the examination is about 3 hours. The exam is based on Kubernetes v1.20. The CKA exam environment will be aligned with the most recent K8's minor version within approximately 4 to 8 weeks of the K8's release date. Based on Kubernetes version 1.17, the CKA exam will test your capabilities across different domains. And also the registration fee for the exam is $300. The exam is available in 3 languages, that is English, Japanese, and simplified Chinese. Now that we know and understood the format, the duration of the exam, its cost, and the various languages that it's available in, so now let's move ahead and understand the target audience for the examination. The target audience for the CKA exam is also a very important concern for Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam preparation. You really need to know whether you are the right candidate for the exam, or the other way around, whether the exam is right for you or not. Now, the ideal candidates for the CKA exam include any individual who aspires to learn about working with Kubernetes. The certification is for Kubernetes administrators, cloud administrators, and other IT professionals who manage Kubernetes instances. The certification exam, however, is specifically fit for Kubernetes cluster administrators. So if you're any one of this, like a cloud administrator or someone who manages Kubernetes instances and want to skill up, this exam is perfect for you. But this examination is mainly ideal for a Kubernetes cluster administrator. But if you really want to switch careers, or if you want to switch roles in your work, then you can definitely write this exam too as a person who works with Kubernetes. Let's move ahead and talk about the next really important thing, that is the exams curriculum. Now, the preparation of a candidate for the CKA certification exam could improve considerably through a detailed observation of exam objectives. The exam objectives help candidates in driving their preparations in a specific direction. Now, for example, detailed knowledge of the subtopics can really help candidates in finding the right learning materials for preparation. Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam preparation should also focus on the weighting assigned to each exam objective. What this can do is it can help you recognize the importance of each domain in the exam and prepare accordingly. The CKA certification exam emphasizes on testing skills that are highly required in the case of successful Kubernetes administrators. Now, a certified Kubernetes administrator study guide outlines all of the mentioned domains which are essential for your preparation. The study guide can also help you find the subtopics in each domain covered in the CKA exam. Now, let us check out the topics and the various subtopics involved in each of these topics in the CKA exam. So, the first topic that carries the weightage of almost 25% is cluster architecture, installation, and configuration. So here you'll have to manage role-based access control and learn how to use kubedm to install a basic cluster. You will also have to learn how to manage a highly available Kubernetes cluster, provision underlying infrastructure to deploy a Kubernetes cluster, and also perform a version upgrade on a Kubernetes cluster using kubedm. You will also have to learn to implement etcd backup and restore. Moving on to the next topic, which carries 15% of weightage, is the workloads and scheduling. Here it is important to understand deployments and how to perform rolling update and rollbacks. You will also have to learn config maps and secrets to configure applications, know how to scale applications, understand the primitives used to create robust, self-healing application deployments, and how resource limits can really affect pod scheduling. You must also be aware of manifest management and common templating tools in this particular topic. Moving ahead, with a weightage of 20%, we have services and networking. Here you will have to understand how to host networking configuration on the cluster nodes. You will also need to understand connectivity between pods, cluster IP, node port, load balancer server types, and endpoints. You will have to know how to use Ingress controllers and Ingress resources. Also learn how to configure and use core DNS. Finally, you will learn how to choose an appropriate container network interface plugin. In the next topic, we have storage, which carries the weightage of 10%. In weightage, you must understand different topics like storage classes, persistent volumes, volume mode, access modes, and reclaim policies for volumes. You will also have to work on persistent volume claims primitive and know how to configure applications with persistent storage. Finally, troubleshooting holds the most amount of weightage, that is 30%. Here you will have to evaluate cluster and node logging, understand how to monitor applications, manage a container std out and stdr logs, troubleshoot application failure, cluster component failure, and networking. Now that we've understood the curriculum in detail, let's move ahead and check out the learning path. Firstly, you will have to familiarize with the Linux command line. You will have to know what is Linux and the essentials of it. Candidates here have to master the Linux command line for ensuring that they can master the certified Kubernetes administrator questions. You should practice by using a text editor and remember useful shortcuts. In addition to this, candidates should also learn about the creation and management of system services, also have to learn the basics of Kubernetes, and it would be even better if you would learn the basics of cloud infrastructure technologies. Next important point is that you must be very familiar with the exam. The first requirement for your preparations is the Certified Kubernetes Administrator Study Guide. You can study the guide on the official website of CNCF or the Linux Foundation. You must understand and take a closer look at subtopics covered in each domain and the weight of each domain. This way, you can know what you're up against, thereby giving you a competitive edge for your preparations. The next important addition in any certified Kubernetes administrator preparation guide refers to online training courses. Candidates can access the free Introduction to Kubernetes course by the Linux Foundation to understand all key concepts in Kubernetes. In addition, the course Fundamentals of Kubernetes by the Linux Foundation also helps in capitalizing on introductory learning resources to train candidates for requirements of the CKA certification exam. You can also choose popular training providers such as Cloud Native Computing Foundation, Edureka for certified Kubernetes administrator exam preparation. Candidates can get the assurance of guidance by trustworthy and subject matter experts with training courses. Now, the final yet most reasonable advice to prepare for CKA exam is to practice. Always take some time to reflect on what you learn and then implement it in practice. Start with the basics and then move gradually towards the higher levels of a certified Kubernetes administrator preparation guides. With this, let's go ahead and check out the benefits of CKA. Now, you may be wondering about the reasons to put so much effort into certified Kubernetes administrator examination preparation. Well, there are a lot of objectives to cover, and you should know that the certification has some benefits to gain confidence. So here are some of the returns that you could get for your efforts in preparing for certified Kubernetes administrator questions. First of all, the CKA certification helps you make your resume unique from the pack. Companies are definitely relying more and more on Kubernetes, thereby giving you a unique opportunity to outperform your competition. Top certifications such as CKA bring exceptional promises for a rise in your salary. Companies are willing to pay more to certified Kubernetes professionals because the certifications validate the abilities of candidates to address all professional responsibilities effectively. Passing the certification exam is a very rewarding experience that can contribute to a personal growth in the very long term. Most important of all, going through a comprehensive certified Kubernetes administrative preparation